GIBF team headed by Dr. Joshi and the local in charge, Dr. Sitaram. Ladies and gentlemen, what a pleasure. Being in Hyderabad, it's a matter of great pride for me, representing multiple associations, being the honorary advisor for the Government of India in Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and also holding several positions in pharmaceutical associations and the Chamber of Commerce and Industry as well. It's a great opportunity today. We all witnessed the Honorable Governor of Telangana was so happy to interact with the countries, 16 countries, diplomats who came all the way from Delhi last night, last afternoon, some of them. And I was telling Dr. Joshi, it's actually, you're not doing a job, it's a noble cause. We also hear this kind of conventions, having diplomats on a single platform done by the organizations like Confederation of Indian Industry and other associations. But this is mind-boggling. In fact, the diplomats also agree the way, it's not a competition, it's a kind of a cooperation. When you brought the diplomats of as many as 16 countries on one platform, and they all mingling with each other like great friends, it's a matter of a great joy for all of us. Last night when we were saying there is no competition, which country invites more investments or which country does more trade. End of the day, they all mutually among themselves coordinate. I also saw the wonderful atmosphere among themselves. Victor stealing the show, of course, from Colombia, such as jovial gentleman he is, but the rest of them are not lagging behind. All of them are at home, they feel at home, they interact with each other. It's not only with the business, but among themselves also. It's a great feeling to see the way they are interacting among themselves. And I'm so glad, as already Aishwarya, the director of GIBF, introduced and called all the gentlemen and lady on the podium. This session, leveraging India's expertise in information technology, automobiles, health, and pharmaceutical to expand LAC and beyond. So not only these countries, beyond these countries, what are all the opportunities? Among the chief guest of this session, the plenary session, Mr. Sridhar Babu, the Minister of IT and Industries, will join soon. We go ahead with the session. We hope that he is still stuck up at the Secretariat with some meetings. We'll hope that he will join us very soon. But in the meanwhile, we have all the learned diplomats, His Excellencies from Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Mexico, Colombia, Peru, Uruguay, and Venezuela. So apart from that, we also have our partners from TRB Group and Lilavati Hospitals also are there in the panel today. We earnestly, from each of them, we wanted to ask a question on your behalf. So apart from their respective presentations, we'll also try to ask them what is the key point from their side which drives the business and relations. And also it's not only the business, the trade between the India and the respective countries, but also how the relations can be improved. So on that aspect, we'll try to address, pertaining to that particular country, which are the aspects drive the business also, we'll try to ask. First we go with Colombia, my friend Mr. Victor Hugo. Quite jovial since yesterday. Colombia exports crude oil and coal to India while importing automobiles, pharmaceuticals and textiles. There is growing interest in defense as well, agri-tech and healthcare sectors also. The recent diplomatic engagement is focused on boosting two-way investments and skill development also. In fact, we just heard a wonderful presentation from him also. But to continue that, I would like to ask a couple of insights from him briefly, what he is looking forward to take this business between Colombia and India forward in the business relations and the trade as well. Mr. Hugo. Yeah, what you are looking into, which areas are definitely driving the business between the Colombia and India in the coming.
Thank you very much. So far, if you see the presence of India in Colombia, is the traditional that we think that it is only Colombia, it is in all the Latin American region. Yes, and you have been covering a lot of fields in the economic relationship, goods and services. But what I feel is that, of course, you are good sellers, very good sellers, because you have a great offers. And let's take an example. A big pharmaceutical, I will not mention the name. I talked to a big pharmaceutical company, and they were selling, like many others in Colombia, generics. They say, why you are interested in 50 million people market when you have 144 crore market in India? They say because still, if we are offering low prices, they will be higher and they can be pretty much higher than in India. So it's good for us. And they are right. I talked to another company dealing with services, consultancy services and technological services. Why they are using Colombia? Why are you so interested? Because you have human resources and we can produce and sell to low prices. And that's it. With some few exceptions that I was mentioning previously, the relation has been a seller and a buyer. It happens the same, especially also in mining, in energy. But we need to do more. What we think is that we get more, if we get more involved in business associations, we could get more from that. As I mentioned, we don't want just to be the buyers. We want to produce hand by hand in the region so we can have a really win-win situation. That is not only the aspiration of Colombia, believe me, that is the aspiration of all the region. So the question is, how do we move on? So let's say you all business people trying hard to sell products, trying to expand your business in the region, how do we move on with this idea? You have to go to the region. Or either we have to explore other ways to get involved. I mean, video conference with the help of the embassies or so on. But certainly, the business in the future nowadays that our reliable partners are not so reliable. Our traditional partners are not reliable because tomorrow you don't know what kind of tariffs will put on your head. We need to find good partners. And really, I think that the good partners for India are in Latin America.
Absolutely. I can't agree anymore with this. We also had a great interaction last time when we met during this pharmaceutical international summit in Delhi. Definitely, Colombia has way to go between India and Colombia. And thanks for your kind presence here since yesterday and moving jovially with all of us and taking business as fun. And that's very nice. Next, I would like to go to Argentina. India and Argentina share a strong trade relationship, especially in edible oils, with Argentina being a key supplier of soybean oil, as you mentioned already. The pharmaceuticals, the chemicals and agricultural machinery are emerging sectors for the cooperation. Both nations are deepening ties already, and through technology and exchange and space cooperation and the strategic partnership also. And we'd like to ask the Honorable the diplomat, His Excellency Mariano Agustin Cosino, Ambassador of Argentina. Thank you very much, sir. It's wonderful to have you here with us, and your insights, how we take it forward, how you felt the hospitality here in Hyderabad.
Thank you very much, but can you repeat the
how you wanted to take the business forward, and what is the key driver?
Well, if I understand correctly what you are requiring me, I would say that Argentina and India have been developing very fruitful relations, and in the terms of trade, as I mentioned before, Argentina is a main supplier in terms of food security to a country of the scale of India, the largest country in the world in terms of population, and the fastest growing country in at least among the great powers. And so I think my country is a great partner for you, and the region, I would say, is a great partner for you in terms of food security. In terms of energy, our countries, I can speak on behalf of Argentina, but in some way on behalf of the region, we are also able to provide security because, as you know, our countries, Latin American and Caribbean countries, are in relative terms are countries with small populations, and but we at the same time we have vast natural resources and high levels of education. So the combination between the two things provide the possibility for a large country as India, among others large countries in Asia, which is the most developing region in the world, the possibility to expand that. In the case of Argentina, we are working very good in lithium. Lithium is very important for us and very important for a country as India. Argentina is part of the so-called lithium triangle, or also, for example, Bolivia. And we are working very good with investments from India. What I would say is that, of course, we have to consolidate what we have, but we have to enhance that. And I think I can speak on behalf of my colleagues and distinguished friends, the ambassadors of the region, that we are all in the same page on the idea that Latin America, Caribbean region is absolutely compatible with India. And what we expect, I would say, is more attention, let's say, or more close relations between the Indian government and our governments and of the region. For example, we are very happy when we hear that the Ministry of External Affairs here in India is planning to make more approach to the region, when we hear that they are planning to open embassies in all the countries of the region, and we would like to see that in the reality. We expect that it will happen, and I think I can speak on behalf of my colleagues in that sense. If there is a specific question that I didn't understand, I can answer.
Which sector will be the biggest in the coming years between both India and Argentina?
In the case of Argentina, the Argentina-Indian relations, the main sector in terms of trade is edible oils. Argentina is the #1 provider of soybean oil, and is the #3 in terms of sunflower oil. For example, here, Samir Saran, the head of the ORF, Observe Research Foundation, which has recently held the #10 edition of the Raisina Dialogues, he always says that although our Indian people don't know, Argentina is in the kitchen of every or almost every Indian family, because they use that oil mainly in the case of soybean oil from Argentina. Of course, other countries.
I fully understand, Your Excellency. That's what we buy in big numbers, the soy oil from Argentina.
Yes.
But what you would like to buy from us, from India?
Well, India is selling motorcycles, is selling ingredients for the pharmaceutical industry, is selling ingredients for the clothing industry, and among other things. But of course, you know, we are here, we have to sell our products. You have a great ambassador there doing his job.
Yeah, I know. Actually, he's a friend of us. And I just narrowly missed. I booked my ticket to Buenos Aires a few months ago, but I had to cancel because of some personal exigencies.
But you will be able to go now. The season is better. So
very much. I have great friends.
You will find better weather now in autumn than in summer. So
a lot of friends over there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we go to Your Excellency, Mr. Alberto from Uruguay. Uruguay is such a country. Okay, we might consider the trade volumes are a little modest now, but India exports, because we have interacted before also on the pharmaceuticals, essential medicines, Uruguay buys from us. Being on the board of the Pharma Council, I know personally how the Uruguay and India are cooperating with each other in getting the healthcare addressed in the pharmaceuticals. And also the textiles, machinery too, we also supply to Uruguay. Fintech, IT services and agro-processing are promising collaboration areas in the future with Uruguay. This is what envisaged with a lot of brainstorming, that Uruguay's stable investment climate, very stable, the politically stable, the country is stable, people are friendly, and it makes Uruguay very attractive for Indian firms also to expand their business and also to set up their shop in Uruguay also. This is what we've been told all the while. So from your side, representing Uruguay, a great country, to India, what is your insight? How you see the business prospers in the coming days, Your Excellency?
Well, I see them with optimism. The fact is that the private sector is the one that needs to inject dynamism in the relationship. That means there are quite a lot of businessmen interested in going to my country, but they want to have, a representative first. I think you have to know the market, you have to know how it developed, and at the same time, we have the intention to be a hub for Indian businessmen, for establishing companies that can extend to the rest of South America. And that's where our main important factor is settled, and where I think it's still not recognized by the Indian businessmen, that maybe they do not still know precisely how geographically we can influence the region. And at the same time, the facilities that they get from the government. And that's something, maybe it's a lack of, let's say, effectiveness in what is our transmission of information, but we need to explain specifically that we give a lot of promotional facilities. And even we still do not have the fact of giving them special treatment to the businessmen, but it's something we're trying to do. We have 1,000 Indians right now living in Uruguay. It's much more than many other countries that have maybe 300, 400, or 500. And we know that all the ones that are there want to stay in Uruguay. So there is something that is attractive for Indians and also to establish themselves and work there.
Thank you. In fact, those words of wisdom, and it's a long way to go, India and Uruguay, the business relation. Before going to another diplomat, we also have a couple of great partners in this the mission. And thanks to you, to TRB Group, and thanks to Lilavat Hospitals also. I think they also have displayed outside. I request
the audience to have an interaction with their respective representatives in the stalls displayed outside. But I would like to ask a question for the TRB group representative. And if in fact TRB group representative was in the last century, they established way back more than 70 years, I think almost. Late Sri Ved Prakash Agrawal ji, the TRB group has evolved into a global conglomerate operating in over 13 countries, I'm told, with a portfolio of 40 plus brands across 9 industries, including steel, construction, auto parts, bicycles, FMCG and ceramics. The company is renowned for its commitment to quality and innovation. I'm sure TRB group also looks forward to either invest or expand their businesses in the coming, in the 16 countries we are representing here. But from your side, a little bit about TRB group's objectives, the business strategies, how you are involved in this mission. I'd like to ask the TRB group representative.
First of all, good afternoon, everyone. And I'm thankful to GIBI and GIBF for the giving opportunity to attend this panel meeting. Basically, our group, let me introduce a small introduction of TRB group, who we are and what we do. Our group, we are into international marketing and we are into global business development. Within a very short span of time, we have led African industrialization. We have already done and settled multiple industries in Africa. So first of all, let me tell you, all the Argentina, Peru, Caribbean countries and Latin American countries that we are into now globalization of Latin America and Caribbean countries. So I would like to invite all of the honorable ambassadors and the trade counselors of the different countries so that to our office in Ludhiana so that we can have a great discussions on our upcoming investments into your country. So TRB group is mainly into the industry of mining and we are already developed some of the projects like beverages, electric vehicles and TMT bars, cement to industrialize Africa. Now we are industrializing Latin America and Caribbean. And very recent news I would like to give all of you, we have started our new business venture in one of the Caribbean country, that is Guyana. In last meeting with the GIBF in Pune, we have come to meet with Guyana Embassy and that's a very good and great meeting. And this year we just signed the JV with Guyana. So that's the industry of TMT bars, upcoming with cement, breweries, glass bottling, ceramics. And in Latin America and Caribbean, these countries are mainly into the, they are rich with the natural resources. And I would like to join whosoever is interested to join hands with us for the industrialization of their country. So please visit us to our office in Ludhiana so that we can have our collaboration together for the future. And with respect to Sir's question, I would like to tell that our company want to become a bridge. We are not into exports and imports of items from your country. We want to invest there in industries. Like our honorable Colombian ambassadors asked, why not we are interested for production? Why we are just buying and selling? We are interested into production now. So let's expand, let's join hands for the industries. Thank you so much.
That's really wonderful, very nice of you. TRB has set its name already in India in multiple sectors and it's heartening to see the way you spoke. You're not just looking for expanding some business or import or export. I think it is music to the ears of the diplomats here and which country gets more investment from your company, from the group. I think
it's a big challenge. I'm sure you'll have in multiple countries you are going to invest and make big inroads into bilateral trade and relations. Thank you very much for coming over here all the way and also supporting us in this mission. Thank you. Thank you, TRB Group. And next I go to a small but influential country. In fact, the ambassador of India in Peru also hails from this, he's a son of soil. He is a Telugu-speaking person, Peru's ambassador, very closely related to us. And we go to His Excellency, Mr. Javier, Ambassador Javier from Peru. Peru, to just give a little brief to you, India imports a lot of gold, copper and minerals from Peru, and we also export automobiles, of course pharmaceuticals, it's one of the big area, and textiles as well to some extent. So mining infrastructure and IT services are focus areas for growth in the future. The ongoing, we have a free trade agreement discussions are going on already. We really aim to have a wonderful FTA. The global business is under turmoil these days. We are talking, in fact, Mr. Joshi, the president of GIBF, we are talking in the morning. This is the right time. The Ministry of External Affairs representative, Madam Snehaja, also mentioned in her remarks in the morning. These are the countries. We may be doing small businesses in the current scenario, but it is going to go. It is going to grow much bigger in the coming years. It's a wonderful platform also to come on one platform and to talk about the business opportunities in the future. And I'm sure the ongoing negotiations on the free trade agreement between Peru and India will be fruitful for both the countries. I really appreciate Ambassador Javier for your kind presence, and I would request you to throw some insights how you are going to see the future, the business and trade and relations between Peru and India. Over to you, sir, Ambassador.
Okay, thank you for the question. The trade between Peru and India has been grown huge. For instance, from last year to 23 to 24 year has grown almost 70%. Now the trade is around almost $6 billion.
Wonderful.
That's huge. But gold is 4 billion itself. That means if you take away gold, it's almost the same. This is why we think that through free trade agreement, and I think applies to the majority of the countries in the region, will be much better investment, much better trade within the countries. Because it's not only goods that we are negotiating, but services, cooperation, small and medium enterprises benefits, intellectual property rights. It's almost 12 to 15 chapters. This is why it's a very complex negotiation. We are going to have the 8th round of negotiations, I think, next month. And I'm very glad that India agrees to start negotiating the same with Chile. I hope other countries can follow this pattern, because our experience is that with a free trade agreement in force, the potential of trade and investment is huge. This is our experience with the United States, with the European Union, China, Japan, Korea, and the only missing important countries is India, but I think at the end of this year we can have this free trade agreement. Thank you.
Yeah, it will happen very soon. We are also very optimistic on the negotiations of the free trade. In fact, under the leadership of Honorable Minister Mr. Piyush Goyal, we have been on the spree of signing FTAs. Initially, it happened with the UAE. I'm fortunate to be one among the team. We all went to Dubai to sign the FTA SEPA, we called it. And ever since we signed the SEPA, the business has really improved over the last 2 years. We went during the Expo Dubai, and at that time we signed it. With Australia also, we signed the FTA, and other countries, the negotiations are happening under the leadership of Mr. Piyush Goyal, and also the active involvement of Honorable Minister of External Affairs, Mr. Jaishankar also. I think we are very active on both the fronts. And now I go to most happening country. In fact, my friend, Honorable Ambassador from Mexico, he told one of the 12th largest economy. Anyhow, we are going to hear from him, and we are very, very glad, Your Excellency, Ambassador Federico, to have you here. And last night also the interactions, you were so friendly with your colleague attached. Yeah, he's very active. Daniel is there. And coming to Mexico, a couple of words from my side as well before you speak. The trade between India and Mexico is diversified, right? And with strong ties in automotive, machinery, also in chemicals. I think these are the 3 areas we have wonderful business relations. But at the same time, we have information technology, IT services, the renewable energy, and electronics manufacturing. They also hold high potential in the coming years. Mexico also serves, I think I must repeat, Mexico also serves as a gateway for the Indian businesses to access North American markets. So definitely we count big on Mexico, sir, and your presence, Honorable Ambassador, makes us very delighted among this August gathering. We wanted to hear more from you representing a great country, Mexico, in India.
Well, thank you very much. I don't think there was a question there, but thank you. But that gives me the opportunity to say something that I think is very important. As you correctly said, in the case of Mexico, it's a very diversified exchange that we have between our 2 countries, not only in terms of investment, but also in terms of trade that exists. But I think that there's something very important that I'd like to mention, because all of us have pointed out to some examples of some of the big and important Indian companies that are in our countries, that are doing business in our countries, that are investing in our countries. But most of the audience here are representatives of small and medium-sized enterprises. And I think that what's important is that for all of you to know that the opportunities are there also for all of you, not only for the big companies, you know, the Tata and Hero and Mahindras of India, but also for all the others in a wide variety of sectors, be it pharmaceutical, be it in wellness, be it in, I mean, you name it, in whatever you guys are involved in. And that's why we're here, because we want to talk to you, we want to hear what opportunities you see to do trade with our respective countries, or maybe invest in our countries. As you will also see, is that in spite of the distance that exists between India and our region, nevertheless there is an important Indian presence in our region. So distance is not necessarily an impediment to do business, to have an important presence, and to flourish your own businesses in our respective countries. So I will really encourage all of you to, to overcome any kind of reservation you have in terms of the distance or in terms of the size. There's an enormous amount of opportunities and potential that exists in each and every one of our countries in the Latin American and Caribbean region. And it will, I think, be beneficial to all of you to take advantage of these opportunities. And I hope that we can convey to you what those opportunities are and bring you to our respective countries. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir, for your kind presence and also the initiation for the bilateral trade. We really appreciate your initiatives. Thank you very much once again. And before we go to another diplomat, we have another partner here from Lilavati Hospitals. Lilavati Hospital and Research Center, located in Bandra West, Mumbai, is a leading multi-speciality tertiary care hospital established way back almost 50 years ago. And it has multiple hundreds of beds, advanced medical technology and expert consultants. It offers world-class healthcare across various specialties, especially when the tourism in the healthcare is happening in a big way. In multiple cities, I think Lilavati plays a major role in connecting the world, connecting the patients outside the world to a better healthcare also in India, and serving thousands of patients in Delhi from India and also in abroad, as you're already doing. Throw some light from here.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to share the panel with dignitaries and excellencies from Latin America countries. And I thank GIBF for the opportunity to be the partner and to be the sponsor for the Latin America and India partnership. I'm representing Lilavati Hospital based out of what Sir has explained. We are based out of Mumbai, Bandra, which is there in the heart of the city. It's operational, fully operational from 30 years back, and its inception was done in 50 years back in 1966. The trust has formed. From there, in 1978, the foundation has been laid in Bandra, and then 1997, the hospital is fully operational. It is a 322-bed hospital, precisely. We have around 2,200 employees and 300 plus consultants. We function as a fully multi-speciality hospital. It is a trust hospital. We have a Seva department, which we call it as in India, and it's a philanthropy work. And the family is fully into the philanthropy before the establishing the hospital way back, 50 years back. So this hospital, we are well specialized in cardiology, oncology, neuro, nephro, and all the other specialties. When he was explaining about the medical tourism, we are, without doing any kind of marketing, because of our brand, because of the quality, because of the doctor's expertise and the experience, we are getting almost 270 international patients every year. That is the quality what we maintain. And the promoters are the chairwoman is Mrs. Charu Mehta. She is the founder trustee, and their children are Mr. Prashant Mehta and Mr. Rajesh Mehta and Mr. Rajiv Mehta. Just to briefly explain about what we are expanding into multiple cities, we are Mr. Prashant Mehta and his family, they have a vision to expand into multiple cities. So now next hospital around, it is 375-bed hospital, which is coming up in Gift City, Gujarat. That is also a multi-speciality hospital. The hospital is ready yet to be operational within 6 to 7 months. We tied up with world #1 Mayo Clinic, USA, which is based out of which is Rochester. They have high standards of the quality and the experience. They are about 200 years experience of healthcare. So we have a strategic partnership with them in doctors training, in nurse training, having standards and protocols in the whole healthcare operations, and also in the recruitment and technology procurement from the different countries. So we have a very good partnership with Mayo Clinic. Recently we have conducted nurse training program in Lilavati, Mumbai. Almost 160 nurses we have certified by Mayo. So the standards we are trying to increase in our hospital. Also, we recently announced one more hospital in Assam with understanding with the Assam government. It is a 250-bed hospital. It's a greenfield project. That is also a multi-speciality hospital. We expecting to be operational in next 3 years as that is a greenfield project. And recently also we announced a 300-bed cancer standalone institute in Bandra, next door to the Lilavati, Mumbai, with an investment of around $450 million. It's a standalone cancer institute because the oncology has been increased, the cancer patients. Now India became the cancer capital with the highest number of cancer patients. We want to concentrate on that specialty and to come up with this standalone institute. And we are planning to set up a proton therapy, which is very rare technology equipment where only the Chennai, one of the institution have, and Tata Trust have. So that is very, probably it is a $200 million equipment, which is proton therapy, which is required for India. So we are planning to set up that proton therapy also in the next cancer institute. And you know the Indian numbers are very huge. We are, as a hospital, we are best hospital in patients choosing the hospital, like celebrities, VIPs, keep coming to our hospital. Why? Because we maintain our quality with the standards of, we are regularly NABH accredited, and a lot of websites like HealthMed and other websites give a patient experience of 4.6 and 4.8 out of 5 ratings. And our quality is well maintained. We are regularly, as I told, NABH accredited, and other hospital we are trying to equally accredit internationally, like JCI accreditation and all, we are trying to maintain. And we want to explore, as a last line, we want to explore the opportunities with Latin America in the way of medical value travel with the partnering and having an understanding with the government. And also we are also interested in what are the PPP model available in the healthcare side. We are to explore that opportunities as well. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Going by your strengths in the medical and healthcare, I think there are huge opportunities from LAC on the medical tourism, but also a lot of opportunities for collaboration.
Just to add the number, probably medical tourism is around 8 billion, what we do it. We are expecting to jump to 16 billion in next 4 to 5 years. And also our healthcare hospital market itself, it's a 99 billion, and we are jumping 2000 by 30 by $190 billion. And overall healthcare market is now currently at 300 plus billion.
Yeah, we understand. That's a big area for the improvement also. Next, before I go to the happening countries, Brazil and Venezuela, Madam Gabriela is there. She won't speak right now, but she already offline, she will interact from Bolivia. But a couple of lines. India imports gold and natural gas from Bolivia while exporting the pharmaceuticals and engineering goods. Lithium mining and clean energy are gaining attention as areas for future collaboration. The recent focus on lithium reserves has placed Bolivia on India's radar for critical mineral security. We are very happy to have you here. We acknowledge your presence, Madam Gabriela. We will also interact with you offline. And I go to Brazil. My friend, Honorable Ambassador, I think he booked his ticket, but he was supposed to come yesterday, but he could not come due to emergency, the medical exigency in his family. But nevertheless, he is very well represented by my dear friend, Mr. Johan Gold, Mr. Wagner Antonis, head of the trade division, Embassy of Brazil here. In fact, I must tell you also, B stands for the first letter in BRICS. BRICS, the most happening country, most friendly country. I personally have a great relation with Brazil. I went to Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, couple of times in the last 2 years. In fact, the president of our World Packaging Organization also lives in Sao Paulo. Mr. Suresh Reddy, the Honorable Ambassador of India, is a very active in Brazil, being the Ambassador of India in Brazil. We have great relations with him. He is also working very enthusiastically for the business and relations between India and Brazil. Brazil is one of the India's top trading partners in Latin America, particularly in crude oil, agri-products, and chemical sectors. And there is growing synergy in pharmaceuticals. In fact, last time when I was in Sao Paulo, I was even greeted by the people, even the cab drivers who are hailing, India is our friendly country, thankful to you for supplying the vaccines and the first line of defense medical. I was very, very thrilled to hear not from the diplomats, but from a common man in the society. We are very proud to have a business partner like that. And going forward, the synergies in IT, pharmaceuticals, biofuels, both the countries are part of BRICS, as I already mentioned, and collaborate very actively in multilateral platforms. I think Brazil is one of the four countries in the forefront with the business in India, and there is a lot to go in the coming years. From your side, the Embassy of Brazil in India, held by the Honorable Ambassador and you holding the fort there, and what message you are going to give to the business community from Brazil. Over to you, Mr. Wagner.
Thank you very much for your introduction. Everything you said is true, and it helps to contextualize the place our relations are right now. What happens is, as you mentioned, Brazil and India have always been very close friends and have a relationship of mutual respect, and that is based on a strong coordination in multilateral fora. We're countries with a lot of similarities in many areas, and we also defend similar values and have similar goals in the international arena. So that has led to a very close coordination between our countries in G20, in the UN, in BRICS now. But what we have seen over time is that this relation had not really evolved for more concrete results. We had very fluid dialogue in the political level, but commerce, investment, industrial cooperation was not really was not really up to the level of the political dialogue. And that is being changing very fast. That's the news that I mentioned during my short presentation, and that I would like to reiterate now. That has been changing very fast. Trade is booming. Brazil is now the largest trade partner of India in Latin America. Our trade topped 12 billion US dollars last year. Investments are also at a historical high, and more important than that, we have seen more and more agreements and partnerships and memorandums of understanding being signed between the private sector, not between governments, because between our two governments we have always been fine. But the new aspect of the relation is this, is that the private sector seems to have discovered each other. And that's why it's a very auspicious moment for our relation. Just to add a little bit more detail, besides the IT and the pharma sector that I had the pleasure to mention in my presentation, and I chose those two sectors because they are a core for the Telangana state, but we have, at the embassy, have also been working on three main pillars that are the sectors that we see as the most promising for quick growth and quick results in the near future. And those are agricultural, of course, energy and defense. And a quick word about each of those. In agriculture, of course, we are two agricultural powerhouses. Both Brazil and India are two of the largest producers and exporters of agricultural products. There's no question about that. But there are synergies. we don't need to compete in agriculture. There are important synergies. For example, India has 1.4 billion people to feed, and Brazil has only 200 million. So there are key agricultural areas in which Brazil can contribute to India food security. But more important than that, what we've been focusing on is helping India increase agricultural productivity. A very telling example of that. Many years ago, our first dairy cattle in Brazil came from India. The main breed of dairy cattle used in Brazil these days came from India.
Do you know one thing? There is a place called Ongole here in Andhra Pradesh. In
That's
our
right,
Telugu-speaking
Andhra Pradesh.
state. We are very familiar. It's near to our place. We are
That is right.
proud to that beginning, the breed of that great cattle come all the way from Andhra Pradesh, this place to Brazil.
That
and
is
now
right.
it's a big.
And that is a connection that we treasure very much because of that cattle, Brazil became a major producer of dairy products over time. And what happened was that over the years, since we implemented this cattle in Brazil, our dairy productivity grew exponentially. And today, the same cattle that we brought from India is producing in Brazil up to 8 times the same amount of milk that this cattle produces in India. So what are we doing now? We're not selling that milk to India, that doesn't make sense, but we're helping India increase its dairy productivity. We're helping them with animal handling techniques, we're helping them with animal feed, and we're helping them with genetic material of the cattle to help them reach the same productivity of the cattle with the cattle that they gave us. So that's, and we want to do that all over the agricultural spectrum. We don't want to be just providers of food to India because that doesn't make sense. We want to be real partners and help each other in agriculture wherever needed. Very quickly, energy. We are both 2 of the largest producers of sugarcane in the world. Sugarcane is already one of the main export items of Brazil to India, but we want to move beyond that. If we have this richness and this expertise in producing sugarcane, so biofuels are a natural path for energy transition for us. Natural path. There's no way we can deviate from that. And that's why Brazil and India, together with the United States, we founded the Global Biofuels Alliance, and Brazil is fully committed to implementing and promoting biofuels as the path for energy transition. Of course, we'll have something different in the future. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it will be solar or fusion or wind. I don't know what kind of energy we'll have in the future. But right now, in this transition period, biofuels are the way to go. And Brazil and India are key players in this arena, and we want to cooperate even more. So that's how I see our relation moving forward. Thank you.
I think if we allow, you will talk more and more. I'm very happy to have you, Ms. Warner, representing Brazil's cause. It's a mutual cause. It's not Brazil's cause alone. And both the countries are great countries, playing a great role in BRICS as well. The BRICS meet was also held both in Brazil and India as well. We go to the final the country on the board today in this panel, Venezuela. It's also most happening. In fact, it's untouched for some time in some areas. But as per me, if you really want me to tell, the Venezuela has a lot of opportunities in the future. And today we have the Honorable the Minister Consular of Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela in Republic of India, Mr. Joan Golnick, and with us. We are very happy to have you, sir. And Venezuela in particular, if you see, historically, it's a key supplier of crude oil to India for a long time. Of course, though trade has declined for multiple reasons, maybe due to sanctions or international challenges also we have. But India continues to be in the business with Venezuela, and we continue to supply, which is close to my heart, the pharmaceuticals, the very sector I belong to. We have been supplying essential medicines to Venezuela and consumer goods as well. Of course, with the future opportunities in healthcare, energy, despite geopolitical cultural and educational exchanges, I think we must agree the cultural and educational exchanges remain very active, whatever may be the case. But ultimately, Venezuela and India here to stay, the bilateral relations are here to stay, and the trade is going to improve. I'm also optimistic on the GIBF platform today. We are great to have you, Minister Councillor, today with us, and throw some light on your behalf, having come here all the forward. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Well, what happened with Venezuela is like the war at us until now, the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, not Bolivian Republic of Venezuela. So is that the world see at us like producers of only two things, oil and beauty queens. So you know something, we have many more products to offer to the world and specifically to India. So during my presentation before, my colleagues were with the governor at that moment, I tried to show you only a little showcase, sorry for my bad use of the remote control, that most of the time was backwards when I tried to show that, but we have many other products. And this is what our government is trying to do now, diversify our exports, you know, and continue exporting oil. Obviously, we got to continue doing this. We are very optimistic, although we have additional obstacles that, as I also explained, we got to surpass because our people and our government is very resilient, and this is something that we have proved during many decades, as also our colleagues from Cuba, they have expertise and in this matter. They are the most resilient country, I think, not only in Latin America, but in the world. And we got to continue selling oil and gas, but we have all the products that I showed before during my presentation, especially seafood, some minerals. We have now also Jindal company in Venezuela. We are confident that they don't go to face again the same problems that stopped the negotiation with Bolivia. And in the oil field, we have ONGC. Videsh has offices in Venezuela since a lot of years. And, well, our intention is to continue improving our relationship in many aspects. As you mentioned before, the cultural area is very important for us because we recognize the strong values of the Indian culture. And we have an ambassador that is very well known by her spirituality and closeness with India, because she has been coming here for almost 40 years in a row and coming every year. So before she was appointed here, this is the second time she's here in the embassy. So she's working hard together with the whole team to promote this diversification that we want to have with India and other countries in the region. Happens that, we have these obstacles. We got to surpass this obstacle for sure. This is our work. I mean, we, the diplomatic team, the diplomatic staff here and also in our main office, our main headquarters in Caracas, and also the technician in each sector, we are working for that. I mentioned here during my presentation the two main agencies that are now working for that. One of them is for the investment, because we are very interested in attract investors from India, all regions of India. And this agency is called the International Center of Productive Investment, the CIIP, and the other is Benexporta for the trade and industry, which is the recently inaugurated office. The name is Benexporta because this is a Venezuelan agency for promoting exports. So these two agencies are open for any kind of request from the Indian businessman. And obviously in the embassy, ambassador herself has the will and is going to be very pleased to receive all, to orientate them towards these particular agencies and to help in all the ways that we can. You know, not only the governmental sector, as my colleague from Brazil mentioned, relationship in the political way with in the political field with between India and Venezuela are very good. We have more than 60 years of diplomatic relations, and this since then these are only been improving. And then, well, we just invite all the businessmen and companies from India not only to go to the embassy, but as the Ambassador Victor mentioned before, to visit our countries. That way they can see in the at the first person what they can do there. Visit Venezuela, visit other countries in the region would be very useful for you to have an idea of which each country has to offer. It's my recommendation to go there. Thank you.
We can't have a better diplomat than you championing the cause of Venezuela in India. As you rightly said, the relationship is long, more than 6 decades. And the business follows suit. There are turbulences, but definitely with the kind of great cultural relations and synergies the India and Venezuela have shared for years, I'm sure the trade will only improve, it will not decline. And the friendship will prosper further, it will not decline. Thank you very much for representing Venezuela here on this great platform, along with the Augustus ambassadors of the LAC countries, the great countries. Being the part of all the countries, I think we are also proud that you represented along with all of them. And my sincere thanks to all the ambassadors for their insights and their cooperative nature and how we take the collaborations and cooperations forward, both in trade and business relations. With that, I would throw the platform open to few questions, if I'm allowed. Very briefly, if somebody wanted to ask, you need to raise your hand, and whom do you want to ask in particular? Yeah, somebody can pass a mic to him. I think you'll get the mic. We need to be audible for us also. There is another gentleman asking.
Hello. Sir, like one of my friends, Vishambarji Garg, he received an award from Governor Ji. Now, woven fabrics.
Keep little closer.
Yeah, they are into woven fabrics. They make woven fabrics. Now, because President Trump has already introduced reciprocal tariff, now their question was, in case if they supposing export that woven fabrics to any LAC countries, and from there they get some bags manufactured and send it to the US, will they be having the reciprocal tariff, or it would be the 10% tariff which would be applicable to them?
The question to whom you want to ask?
Anybody can answer, sir, because it's just related to reciprocal tariff and 10% which they just wanted to know. Because from India, if they export the woven fabric, it would be 10 plus 27%. But if it is going through, they export it to some LAC country, there they get the bags made and then they send it to the US market, will it be liable for 10% or plus that country's reciprocal tariff? That was their concern. Yeah, you can answer, sir. From Brazil, you can answer, no problem.
Okay, since the microphone fell to me, I'll try to give a short answer, and then if any of the ambassadors would like to complement. From the Brazilian side, listen, reciprocal tariffs are not a tradition of Brazilian diplomacy or trade policy. Having said that, of course, the Brazilian government was surprised and disappointed by the recent measures. But not only because it obviously affects national interests and the interests of the Brazilian private sector, but because if you look at the trade numbers, the U.S. had, if you look only at the trading goods, the U.S. had a surplus of $6 billion with Brazil last year. If you add the trading services, then the surplus grows to over $20 billion. So when you talk about implementing tariffs to level the playing field, well, you're fixing a problem that does not exist, at least in this relationship that I just described. So that's why we were surprised and disappointed. But having said that, the United States is a strategic partner of Brazil and one of our second largest trade partner. And we've been talking to them very, very frankly and very openly to try to find a solution. Brazil has a newly implemented mechanism that allows the executive branch to implement reciprocal tariffs. That has been just approved by Congress as a result of the current international scenario. But no decision to use that mechanism has been taken so far. What is happening is just a frank bilateral cooperation and internal consultations with our industry and the key players to see how best we can help the affected private sector.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner, for taking the initiative.
Good afternoon, Your Excellencies. I think like today the end goal is to form a joint venture, right? I mean, that's what I'm getting, that either it's to form a joint venture with your country or your country wants to form a joint venture with our country. And the major goal focused is for a producer or an agriculture. So I'm into both the sectors. So I just wanted to understand that what kind of actual support you guys will provide us. Like, say I'm a manufacturer. So like, will you provide me a land or some kind of schemes that will benefit in the process of manufacturing and tapping the local markets? So that is one segment. And if it's agriculture, you need lands, and at the same time for the development for crops, there are lots of new innovative measures, how you develop the crop and monitor it and progress it. So what is the actual kind of support that we will receive, or are you expecting? So that is the main question that I'm trying to ask. Anyone. So as a whole, I think this is the whole gist of it.
It's difficult, you have to choose one.
I think Brazil, yeah.
Wagner, you are the most wanted.
Okay. No, anyone's fine, no disrespect. So.
Oh, okay, so I'll pass the word to Colombia, please.
Mr. Hugo will answer you.
Thank you very much. In the case of Colombia, when a Colombian business company sets up a joint venture with a foreign investor, they usually go to the free trade zones to get very good benefits regarding taxes. And that is the main way that a foreign investor has been dealing in joint ventures in Colombia. But I will take the chance to talk about this. You mentioned agriculture, and sir, you were mentioning the US, the tariffs, new tariffs, and the textile sector. It's a very good example because all we are deciding what to do with the tariff. If you take Latin America, more or less for all the Latin American countries, the tariff was 10%. So the tsunami hit the most, let's say, Vietnam, Japan, China, India, Cambodia. And what we say in Colombia, the business people are saying is, okay, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, our main industry of leather and shoes and textiles were hit very hardly by the Chinese production. So now is the time to go back. We have this free trade agreement of the US. Most of our countries have free trade agreements with the US. And probably this is the moment to find out how could we get back to the market, filling the gaps that those countries will have with the US. The difference will be huge. We are talking about 10% for most of our countries against more than 50, 45% in some cases. Vietnam will open for Colombia an opportunity in shoes again, and textiles too. And the question is this: you go on joint ventures. Most of our countries have a lot of incentives regarding taxes. Not sure about access to land, but for sure to some taxes. And the opportunity is to jump the production from India with more than 50% of origin product, and then you can jump to the US. That is a win-win situation, and the way to take advantage of these very hard times that we are all living in.
So are you guys also willing to invest in India? Like the same thing, if we guys are providing you land and a place, so are you guys willing to, send your guys, your expertise in developing our nation or our places?
Well, let me just add something to what the ambassador of Colombia just said. I think that in the case of, this is precisely the moment where I think we should look at the opportunities that the present global situation with this tariff system that the Americans have launched in the past couple of days represents the opportunity precisely to enhance the type of trade relationship that we have between countries like India and the countries of Latin America. We've always been talking in all of our countries about diversifying our trade. This is the moment to do it, and I think the opportunities are there. Let the Americans have their tariffs. We can certainly do a lot of trade on our own terms without necessarily being affected by that. In the case of what you were saying about the incentives of manufacture, it depends specifically what you're asking for. I can tell you in the case of Mexico, we have industrial parks in different parts of the country that offer different types of incentives, be them subsidies, be them lower prices for energy or access to water resources. Depends on what the specific manufacturing issue is. So we'll have to talk about the specifics of it. Again, not the question of land. I think it's not. It's something else. And about coming here, well, we're more than happy to. And I think that I think more and more, some of our countries are have investments in India, are partnering with Indian companies, and I think that precisely of the present global situation is going to start happening more and more.
Thank you.
In the case of Peru, there are two levels of incentives. The first one is already my colleague from Colombia and Mexico already said, some fiscal incentives, drawback with the inputs. This is one level. The second level is, in the case of Peru, when we are going to sign the free trade agreement, you can have joint venture with Peruvian companies in Peru, and since Peru has a net of at least 65 free trade agreements with the world, almost zero custom duty, you can use Peru as a trade platform to go to third markets in the region. This is a second level, but first of all, we have to finalize our negotiation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.